Hey guys, Kev here, and I want to do a disassembly on the Giantmouse Ace Riv liner lock here. So I've been carrying this guy for about a week and really enjoying it, and just wanted to do a skiff swap slash disassembly here. Such a good knife, guys. I mean, this is something I've been waiting for years, I think. I mean, the frame lock was an amazing knife, but being left-handed and even knowing some right-handed people that struggled with that frame lock, because, you know, on a smaller knife, it's hard to avoid a frame lock. The liner lock just makes such a big difference, you know. They crushed the D10 on this example. Really enjoy it, you know. My real only gripe is that the lock bar access is not phenomenal, but being such a small knife, it's not like you're doing much of the droppy type close anyway. So, you know, it's perfectly fine the way it is. This is going to be T8s all around, it looks like. Thank God. They're starting to upgrade all these. This one, I believe, is OEM by Viper. We'll take a look inside. Got my LaCroix here. See if we can make short work of this one. I got my Get Good screw, Bleeding Unicorn base and driver. Absolutely love this. They did a great job with this. So I'm going to go ahead and pick out the T8. It's going to be right here. And grab the driver. And then we'll grab other stuff as needed. It's going to be a show side screw that comes out of here. Pivot is connected to the barrel on the other side there. Drop that T8. Gonna have another T8 right here. This is the green canvas micarta version. It also comes in a brass version, but that is gonna be a hefty boy. This with the brass backspacer really doesn't add much weight that I've noticed. So see if that comes apart or if we need to remove the clip. Don't think we need to. I think that clip is just mounted to the liner. There we go. So you can see the clip is mounted to the liner here. If I were to unscrew, this screw should just drop out. Something fell out there. Oh, there's a washer. Interesting. So let's just push that out. So you have these two T8 body screws. And then you have the pivot screw. You have a clip screw, but I don't need to take that off, so I'm not gonna. But if you wanted to take this piece out, you could. Now, it's interesting that there's a washer in there because this is steel. So I'm not sure why they needed a washer as well as the steel liner there, but you know, I guess it works. You can see here, Giantmouse, VTK, made in Italy. VTK standing for, I guess, Viper knives. Somebody in the comments in my unboxing said it stands for Viper tool and knife. Sure. But good construction. There's that brass backspacer. Good to go. Don't think I need to remove that. If I unscrew these two screws, then I can get that off, but really don't want to go that far. No need. D10 is set perfectly, so I'm not going to mess with that. Just going to pop this here bearing out. The reason I want to swap the bearings is because two reasons. We have these steel balls, which is terrible. Nobody wants steel balls in their knife. And then you have a stamped cage. So those are two reasons to switch to Skiffs. These are looking like 5mm 1/16. We'll confirm that, but I'm going to get the alcohol out because it looks like they're using some kind of white, what would you call it, that lithium type grease that you see from like CRK and stuff. So I'm just cleaning everything that comes in contact with the bearings to be safe here. And there we go. Looks like our D10 hole is passed through, which is awesome. That's something you see from Riot. I didn't know that was being done in Italy as well, but it could be. It's very possible that Giantmouse just sent Viper the CAD file from China. They probably sent the Riot CAD file maybe And then they were like, hey, turn this into a liner lock. So they might have kept that part from it. I don't know. But I do like that because I feel like it does help with the detent when it's a pass-through hole. Can't get any gunk in there or anything. It's something I want to implement with Divo knives. I just haven't thought of it at the right time, which is unfortunate. But clean out any gunk from these bearing races. There we go. All right, so what we're gonna do is a couple things. We're gonna take this washer here and we're gonna flip it over. Doesn't look like a track has really worn much, but I'm gonna make sure I put that one in a certain way, and this one we need to clean. And then we'll make sure we put that one in as well the right way on the clean side. Yeah, you can kind of see the track. So let me grab my stuff here. And we'll take a little bit of KPL. I'll use heavy for this to keep that washer in place. Just a little bit. And I just want to make sure I get the right side. There's that track. So I'm going to put the other side facing up. Okay. That one's already good, it looks like. The pivot goes through the lock side. Oh, put that back down. Yep. All right. And then we're going to replace these. So we can check the size. Grab our Tinker Force tin, which has our bearings in here. I'm going to go ahead and grab the 5 mils just because I'm like 95% sure it's going to be 5 millimeter 1/16. You can get this tray, these kind of kits to hold all your good stuff, and these tins from Tinker Force. This is a patch that I put on top from Crispy Donut Community. Shout out to them. You can use LeftyEDC, the code LeftyEDC over at Skiff Workshop, and that's where you can get bearings, the test fit card to check your bearing size. So you can see here, this is going to drop right through that 1/16 slot, and then this pivot is going to drop right into this 5 millimeter slot right there. And that's how you know you need 5 millimeter 1/16 Skiff bearings. Now, Skiff also sells these finger bits, and this is a little driver, and you can put it in your hand like this. So now you can work on spinning barrels and stuff very easily. This is a game changer. So let's get out. What the heck that was? It sounded like one of those door opener things. It sounded like, you know, when you open your door too fast and it bounces off the wall. It sounded like one of those zinging. I don't know what that was. My wife's taking a shower, my kid's asleep, so we may get interrupted if my daughter wakes up, which is fine. Let's get this lubed up, drop that in. The centering was pretty much dead on this guy. Maybe a little bit over to the lock side, but it was pretty much dead on, so hopefully we'll retain that here. Shouldn't have an issue with that, but I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of heavy here on the detent track just to get that going. There we go. Put the old blade on, put the bearing on there. All right, and then we got our stop pin, we got everything else in, right? Yep. And we're gonna want to just give it a little push to pop all those pins together. And then I like to close the blade like so. And then I'm gonna clean the pivot here It's very clean. Look at that. Doesn't have a bunch of shit on it, which is nice. Grab my bleeding unicorn here. The paint pattern or whatever on this thing is absolutely stunning. Just look at that. Check out my video on this. By the time you see this, it'll be about a week old, maybe a week and a half. And man, is it just gorgeous. I went over the bearings in here and pretty much everything you'd want to know about Get Good screwdrivers. They've really dialed it in with these. Just fantastic. Only thing I would ask for is maybe a little bit more grip, but even that, it seems like they're working on it. Got some sharp edges there to really grip down. So what I like to do is put in my pivot, and even though we have those pins locking things down, just give it a little snug there. Then I'll take the screw down on this end, give that a little snug there, put this screw in here, give that guy a little snug, and then now I can work the pivot to where I want it, which is pretty much dead centered there. Tighten this, come over here, make sure these are tight. These aren't really structural there, but so you can see now we're a little bit over, but once we get her dialed in, I think she'll come back to true. So hold on. Clean off the blade. I might get some KPL knife shield because I did hit this on some boxes and whatnot, and that could just be gunk. So you can see the action's still great. We have no play, no rock, and I mean it's dropping to the nail and it's smooth, and that's without, I mean, any break-in at all. So I'm just gonna loosen, let everything kind of reset there a little bit. I'm gonna hold the blade a little this way so that when I tighten it, it'll maybe keep it centered. And we're awfully close to center, if not dead on. No play at all. Got a little bit of stickies there, but I did put a lot of KPL on that detent track. So let's get some alky on a microfiber Q-tip. You can get these on Amazon or at knifepivotlube.com. I will link what I can down below. In my Disassembly Tools section, which is always in the description of a disassembly video, you'll see links to all of this stuff. So if you're interested in knife pivot lube, the driver, the Tinker Force tray or kit, the super glue, I mean, really any of it, the bits, I'm pretty sure I have all this stuff linked down below to make it easy. So what I did there was I just put a little alcohol on the tang here, and then I open it, and that makes sure that alcohol transfers to the lock bar. And that keeps everything clean. I'm just a little OCD. I'm trying to clean the detent ball off a little bit. We didn't get a look at that detent ball. I should have. Pretty sure it's steel. So let me get my flashlight out. And yeah, so Viper is using steel bearings. By the way, it's my Reaver Arm Citadel. This thing is freaking amazing. Viper is using steel bearings, stamped cages, and steel detent balls. Not a fan of those things. You know, if you see them use Fox knives will use a white ceramic detent ball, and then they'll use steel bearings too. So hopefully in the future they'll start switching over to ceramic and ceramic detents across the board. But I mean, you can see the knife in general here is excellent. I mean, they did a great job. I've always had that little bit of a click on the lockup, and I think that's just gonna be there. You know, is it stick or is it just, I don't know. I can't even feel it sometimes. I think it's more just the fact that you have to dig in so far, you know. maybe a little bit of stick, but yeah, we're slightly off center, but I mean, it's really, really close, and I'm not too worried about it, honestly. I know that's ironic for me, but let's unscrew this guy. I'm gonna clean inside the pivot. I'm just going to take this alcohol covered cloth, use my driver, literally shove my T8 into the pivot. So she said, it's very clean. They did a great job there. Take a little bit of super glue. So one thing I like about these is you get really good tooling on the pivot screw. So it doesn't feel like it's going to fall off when I'm doing this part, which is nice. So these are just little air bubbles. I want some glue to come out of here. I used this around the house recently, so it's possible I used it up. Nope, there we go. Just a little bit on the end, that'll work itself down. And we tightened. That tip looks damn close to centered. No play. Pretty much dropping, I mean, come on, drops to the nail there. And you know what? Over time, I bet you it might center up, but honestly, the tip is perfectly centered. It's just maybe the spine here is a little bit over to this side. That could just be the grind is a little wonky or something. I mean, come on. If anybody's going to complain about it, it's going to be me, and I'm not complaining about it, so... I mean, this is an excellent knife, guys. I think Giantmouse really hit a home run with this liner lock Riv. You know, initially my thoughts were I really wished they had done it with Riot, because I know it's going to be hit or miss. We're going to have people out there that just, you know, don't get a good one. It just tends to happen with Italian-made knives. QC is just not as on point. But it's cool that it's made in Italy, and, you know, they've done a good job here. So it's hard to really get upset about it. If it was, you know, a piece of shit, then I'd be pretty infuriated because we could have used, you know, Riot, but it's very well made. So I will say, you know, it's almost better to have the clip on the wrong side. So, like, when I hold this in my right hand, it feels phenomenal. It's just very comfortable because you're snugging up against that micarta, not a clip. When I hold it in the left hand with the clip on the left side, you really feel the butt of that clip. It's not terrible or anything, but you feel it. And then I tend to just kind of try to back my hand up. Instead of trying to climb up onto the handle, I try to kind of back it up, and then I just get I drop into a better spot. You have that beautiful Vox jimping, beautiful choil. Really well done on this Magna Cut blade. Should be around 62 from Viper, Maniago, whatever. And I mean, she's cutting. You know, no issues there. Yeah, it's just printer paper, but that's what I had here. Don't know if I have any cardboard laying around. I have a card. So I have this little card here, manila envelope. Cuts that just fine. Cuts the paper just fine. Here's a card. This is for my Reaver. I was gonna throw it away. Can't keep everything. And you can see here, this is easy peasy. Thing I love about a really well done choil, and this is something Vox does extremely well, and so too with, you know, with Giantmouse, feeling that clip move a little bit, is you just avoid the edge termination, and that's always my issue with knives. So like when you have a good choil like that, your finger just guides the blade, right? So you never hit that corner. Where if you have a knife, let's say, well, this is a terrible example because they have pretty good termination right up to here. But like you catch, right? If you don't have your finger all the way up here where you're blocking it, you're going to catch on that choil. So a really well done finger choil will help you avoid catching that lip or that edge termination. And that's something they do extremely well. And I've always appreciated from Jesper's designs. So I think that about wraps it up there for the Ace Rib Liner Lock disassembly. I mean, we still got a great detent. Everything feels good. Pops. No issues, no lash. Nothing has developed. If anything, honestly, it feels better because now we're on ceramic. It's just really smooth now. Feels really good. It's only going to get better, which is good. Let's just check the lockup. Lockup looks good. Yeah. No failing it. Very well done. Very good knife. So check it out. I do have a link down below if you want to pick up a Riv to Giantmouse's website. You can use the code LeftyEDC and save $5. They're on sale at the moment. I don't know if they're going to be when this video drops, but they're around $195 retail, and that's, you know, Italian made with Magna Cut. I think that's pretty good. The brass one I think is a little bit more, but that one's a chunker. It's going to weigh a lot, so, you know, buy it at your own risk. I think this is the one to go for. And then when they come out with a carbon fiber sprint run or something, it's going to be awesome. So let me just check if this is loose or if that's just how that clip going to be. There's a little bit in there. Yeah, it's a little better, but you know how wire clips are. So there you go. I love you guys. Hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you later.